What is going on, chat man? Today we are reacting to Michael Jordan versus every All NBA defender, and this was highly recommended by you guys. As you guys know, or if you're new to the channel, I'm the biggest LeBron James fan of all time. But you guys slowly turned me into a Michael Jordan fan, and I appreciate it. You guys been recommending me amazing videos and supporting me like heavily, and I appreciate everything. And today, let's just get straight into the video. I'm excited, so.
The greatest scorer that's ever lived. He could drop 40, 50,
Okay.
and 60 points at any time. But was he equally as dominant against the
60 points at any time? That's crazy. Okay.
best defenders of his era? We're going to see how he performed against all the All-NBA defenders that guarded his position. From the 1984/85 season to the 1997/98 season. We're going to see which players he tormented the most and which ones he had the most trouble with. We're going to start with the early stages of his career. Let's bring in Michael Cooper. He's an 8-time All-NBA defender.
Dang.
That includes 5 first teams. He also won
What position did he play? I'm curious. 8
the
times?
Defensive Player of the Year award in 1987. Jordan went on record and called him a great on-ball defender. But this is what Michael averaged against him for his career. 31.2 points per game on
Oh my god, look at the point ratio. Oh my god, that's horrible.
47% shooting. To Cooper's credit, he was less efficient than he normally is. But that's to be expected when facing the best perimeter defenders the league had to offer during this time. But his scoring did go up. When he saw a worthy challenge, he wanted nothing more than to rise to the occasion.
What?
And there were 2 times that he scored over 40 points against him.
Wait, time out. So Jordan played extra better when he played better competition, but if he played somebody that's not really that good, he didn't really care. Is that what he's trying to say? That's insane if he did that.
In 1988, he gave him 42 points on 48% shooting. But MJ didn't win every battle. There was one time when he was held to 35% shooting in 1989.
Oh,
We move on to Sidney Moncrief. This is a player who won the first ever Defensive Player of the Year award in 1983.
wow.
Then he won it again in the following year. He was selected to the All-NBA
Wait, the award wasn't out until like 1983? That's insane.
First Team defense for 4 consecutive seasons. Michael recognized how great a defender he was. He said this in 1986, according to the LA Times. He'll hound you everywhere you go, both ends of the court. You
Okay.
just expect it. But the numbers say he usually had his way against him. He averaged 31.6 points per game
Look, like this guy, Jordan, outplays everyone. This guy is, oh my god.
on 53% shooting. There were 2 games where he scored over 40 points.
Okay.
That includes his performance in 1987 when he scored 50 points on 52% shooting. Sidney Moncrief once told Michael Cooper what made him so hard to guard.
Of course, Michael Jordan was impossible to guard because Michael could play without the basket.
He had them in a podcast talking about how badly he whooped them. Like, think about that. Jordan is something else. He still has people scared. That's what I'm learning. Like, this guy is something else.
Ball. And he could be on the weak side, and if you're not in tune to him, he could make that fast cut left, right to the basket or to the top, catch the basketball in his sweet spot, and just do anything he wanted to do.
Wow.
I think he doesn't get enough credit for moving without the basketball.
They faced off once in the playoffs in Jordan's rookie year.
Oh,
He was held to a little under 44% shooting, but you can
his rookie year, he still outplayed him.
say that this was a team effort. The Bucks had another All-NBA defender, Paul Pressey. This is one of the most underrated defenders of the 80s. He was selected to the All-NBA First Team defense in 2
Okay.
consecutive seasons. In fact, he was credited for holding Jordan to 3 of 17 shooting in
He
1987.
was 17.
But his numbers look very similar to Moncrief's. He was dominant against a team that had 2 All-NBA defenders. He was able to score an additional 50-point game against them in 1989 while shooting over 60% from the field. Then he scored 49 points on them in 1992 while shooting 60%. The next legendary defender that he went up against is Dennis Johnson. He's a 9-time All-NBA defender. That includes 6 first-team selections. Magic Johnson even called him.
What position did this guy play? 9 times. You have to be somewhere between a power forward or center. That's crazy.
The best backcourt defender of all time in 1991. But you wouldn't know that when he faced Jordan. He averaged 34.3 points per game on 50% shooting. There were 6 games in which he scored over 40 points. That includes 2 50-point games. In the playoffs, he was even more dominant. He averaged 39.7 points per game.
Oh my God. 39 points. And he averaged 19. And these are all NBA players. Something's not adding up. Jordan is... These guys can't be NBA players. How is he embarrassing them this bad? Hey, I give Jordan all his props, man.
On 46% shooting. He added 2 more 40-point games. When he scored 49 points in Game 1 of the 1986 playoff series, he vowed to never let that happen again. Then he scored 63 points in the very next game. We're seeing a pattern here. Not even the best defenders could stop him from making history. We move on to the defender that he respected the most, Joe Dumars.
The thing is with him being unguardable and all that, he's not like a Kyrie dribbling type player, an Allen Iverson dribbling player. How is he, how?
He once said that nobody guarded him better. He expanded that by saying this.
He thought well. I mean, he was very smart about his defenses. I think he approaches the game as trying to dissect his opponents and try to find weaknesses or try to force them to do things that they didn't feel comfortable doing, and he introduced certain tricks to make me, expand on my talents as an offensive player. I mean, that's why I consider him the best.
That's the equivalent of a royal flush when arguing the greatness of this player. He surely has the accolades to back that up. He was selected 4 times to the All-NBA first-team defense. With that being said, here's what Jordan averaged against him. 31.1 points per game on 47% shooting. His efficiency did go down a bit. There were even 2 times that Michael was held to under 30% shooting. On the other hand, there were 2 times that he scored over 50 points while shooting over 75%. Then, in 1987, he scored 61 points on 56% shooting against Dumars and the Bad Boy Pistons.
I feel like at this point he's just doing it just to make them feel like they're not actually a defender at this point. It's so bad. 60?
In the playoffs, Jordan continued his dominant play. He averaged 30 points per game on 48% shooting. There were also 3 times that he scored over 40 points, and each time he shot over 50%. Dumars also once described what it was like trying to guard MJ.
There were nights that on the court that he would do something so incredible. And my thing was to never show any emotion, one way or the other, whether he did something great or not. But I can tell you, many a nights I ran back down the court after he's done something incredible. And internally I'm saying,
he just broke his ankles with a pump fake.
are you effing kidding me?
We move on to one of the most underrated defenders ever, Alvin Robertson. He won the Defensive Player of the Year award in 1986. He's a 6-time All-NBA defender. He was selected to the first team twice. He led the league in steals 3 times. He's the all-time leader in career steals per game with an average of 2.7. In 1986, he averaged 3.7 steals per game, which is the most in history. We're talking about a guy who once posted a quadruple-double. He was legit. And this is what Michael did to him. He averaged 34.7 points per game on 54% shooting.
This is what Jordan did to him. He named all those accolades just for Jordan to out. Literally the points to ratio is bad. He didn't even stop him from scoring.
There were 7 times that he scored over 40 points. In 5 of those games, he shot over 60% from the field.
Wow.
Then, they faced each other in the 1990 playoffs. Jordan averaged 36.8 points per game on 54% shooting.
Oh,
Let's not
sheesh.
forget that the Bucks got this player specifically to contain him. They learned the hard way that there is no such thing
No. They got a player just for Jordan to embarrass him.
as containing Michael Jordan during his prime. What can we say about T.R. Dunn? This is a player that many fans have never heard of. For those who don't know, he is mostly known for being the defensive specialist for the 1980s Denver Nuggets. He's a 3-time All-NBA defender. There's an interesting story surrounding these two players that ESPN published in 2012. The article described T.R. Dunn as one of the best defensive players in the league. In Jordan's rookie year, he was held to 17 points. This was a moment he wouldn't forget. In their next matchup, Michael hurt his ankle in the third quarter, and they wanted him out of the game. But he kept saying that he needed to play. He went back out there and finished with 35 points on 69%
Wow.
shooting, 15 assists, and 14 rebounds.
Jordan never lets anyone one up him. But I'm competitive, bro. He doesn't let anyone do that.
They were just starting to learn about his competitive streak. This is what he averaged against them: 32.1 points per game on 53% shooting. There was even one game he had in 1989 where he scored 53 points on 71% shooting. Let's move on to Gary Payton. Yes, we all know that he's a point guard, but there are many people who have lauded him for the way he defended Michael in the 1996 finals. He was held to 42% shooting for the series, so it's worth diving into how he performed when playing against the Glove, the player who won the Defensive Player of the Year award in 1996, the player who was selected 9 times to the All-NBA First Team defense. This is what he averaged against him: 30.5 points per game on 47% shooting.
Compared to the other people, he kind of did his best at it.
He was still scoring at a high rate, but the efficiency wasn't always there. There were 3 times that he was held to under 40% shooting. On the other side, there were 2 times that he scored over 40 points. In 1997,
Wow.
he had 45 points on 68% shooting. What made the Sonics so dangerous during this time was that they had another All-NBA defender. That was Nate McMillan. In 1994, he averaged a league best 3 steals per game.
Wow.
He also currently ranks 3rd all-time in career defensive box plus minus. There are some who believe that if he had been healthy
Okay.
during the 1996 finals, the outcome may have been different. He had the strength to handle Jordan in the post. However, the numbers are essentially the same as what we saw
Cut
with
it
Gary
out.
Payton.
No,
On paper, the Sonics were
no. I don't think nothing would have been different, to be honest.
equipped to give Michael the most problems. But no matter who's on your team, he will still give you 30 on an average day. We move on to another underrated defender, Derek Harper. He was known for his tenacious on-ball defense. He was named to the All-NBA Defensive Second Team twice. He's the only player that Jordan faced every year of his career with the Chicago Bulls. This is what he averaged against them: 29 points per game on
What?
49% shooting. That's not bad for a player who saw every version of him. There were 3 times that he scored over 40 points. That includes the double nickel game. Derek once told the story that when he checked in to guard him, Jordan told him that he's hot right now, that there's nothing that he could do. He wasn't lying, as he proceeded to make one tough shot after another. But that's
I always see Michael Jordan whooping the Knicks. I swear, it's like a thing. So it's an occurrence that just keeps on happening. How many times did he whoop the Knicks back in the day?
nothing
Let me know
compared to
down
what
below.
he did at Dan Marley. Contrary to popular belief, he was very good on defense. He's a 2-time All-NBA defender. This was the narrative surrounding him in the 1993 All-Star Game. The New York Times wrote, "The All-Star Game offered a preview of Dan Marley, one of the best defenders in the NBA, versus Michael Jordan, the best player in the world. Is Marley versus Jordan the series coming next spring?" Little did they know that it would become such a lopsided battle. But let's start with the regular season.
Wow.
He averaged 31.4 points per game on 50% shooting. There were 4 times that he scored over 40 points against them. That includes a 50-point performance he had against the Miami Heat early in the 1996-97 season. Then, in the playoffs, this is what he averaged for their two matchups. That, of course, includes the 1993 finals, when he averaged a record 41 points per game on 51% shooting.
41 points per game on 50% shooting. That doesn't even seem real. What?
Explained what his motivation was for torching the poor guy.
I knew that Jerry Krause loved Dan Marlin. And just because Krause liked him was enough for me. You think he's a great defensive player? Okay, fine. I'm gonna show you that he's not.
We move on to John Starks. He was an All-NBA defender in 1993.
Did he just dunk on Jordan?
You think he's a great defensive player? Okay, fine. I'm gonna show you that he's not.
We move on to John Starks. He was an All-NBA defender in 1993. Jordan gave him the ultimate compliment that year when he said that Starks played him extremely well. He then said, "He got me in tough positions where I couldn't get the shot I wanted. A couple of them I forced just because I was totally out of rhythm." In their two series in 1992 and 1993, there were 6 times that he was forced to shoot under 40%. Although it's fair to say that it was more due to New York's team defense than the efforts of an individual. But let's get to the numbers. Jordan averaged 31.8 points per game on 47% shooting. There were 5 times that he scored over 40 points against them. In the playoffs, Michael averaged 32.3 points per game on 45% shooting. There were 4 times that he scored over 40 points. That includes his classic 1993 performance when he had 54 points on 60% shooting. John Starks said something interesting about what made him so tough to guard.
You could never break his will. You know what I mean? You could never get inside his head. And, with LeBron, I could see that a little bit. You know what I mean? You can get inside his head. Michael, you could never break him. And I think every player that played against him would tell you the same thing. And he made the game look so easy, uncomplicated. You know what I mean? He didn't have to take the ball between his legs 2 or 3 times to get his shot off. He just get to points on the court and he just knocked down shots.
We transition to another well-respected New York Knicks player, Latrell Sprewell. He was an All-NBA defender in 1994. Craig Sager once famously asked Jordan, "Who are the toughest guys you had to play against?" He said, "Sprewell guards me as well as anybody." His never-ending energy, athleticism, and quickness made him such an outstanding defender. The numbers show us that he didn't make things tough for MJ. He averaged
Oh my god, he actually was holding ground on MJ. What?
25.2 points per game on 47% shooting. He didn't have many big games against him. His only 40-point performance came in his legendary 1996 season. He had exactly 40 points on 48% shooting. We move on to the forgotten Bobby Phills. He was an All-NBA defender in 1996. He was a second-round draft pick who turned a 10-day contract into a 9-year career. Jordan gave him the ultimate compliment by calling him the toughest defender he had ever faced. But in 2000, he was killed in a car crash as he was driving on his way to morning practice. This is what Jordan averaged against him: 28.2
R.I.P. man.
points per game on 46% shooting. There were 4 times that he was held to under 40% shooting. His strength and mobility made things tough for him. On the other hand, there were 2 games in which he scored over 40 points. In 1996, he gave him 45 points on 52% shooting. They technically faced each other twice in the playoffs, but Bobby barely played in their 1993 playoff series. So we're only going to show you what he averaged in the 1998 semifinals against the Hornets. That's 29.6 points per game on about 47% shooting. The last player we're bringing up is Eddie Jones. We saved the best for last. You'll see why in a second. He's a 3-time All-NBA defender.
That was an amazing layup right there.
He led the league in steals once. Michael once praised his defensive abilities by saying this: "He is a very savvy defensive player, so you have to pay attention to him, and you have to be very cautious with the ball and make sure you don't put it out there where he can come and steal the ball. I have to rank him as one of the good defenders in the league." With that in mind, this is what he averaged against him: 23.6 points per game on 40.
This was the best I've ever seen somebody play defense on Jordan. What?
41% shooting. Yes, those numbers do include their matchups when he was with the Wizards, but that's not why the numbers are so low. In their 6 matchups as a member of the Chicago Bulls, he only shot over 50% once. Apparently, the Lakers in the late 90s did the best job of containing Jordan.
Wow.
This surprised me the most, but other than this lone exception, Jordan continued with scoring dominance against each one of these legendary defenders. But what about you all? Which matchup caught your eye? Which player do you
Chat, we got to talk about this one for sure. This was actually insane. Jordan cooking all-time defenders, all NBA defenders, and he's scoring 50 to 60 points like it's like on a video game. Jordan is actually insane. Oh my god. Chat, thank you guys for recommending me this video. And it is the end of the video, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tune into the Twitch. But you also should recommend me some more stuff to react to. But that being said, I'll catch y'all next time. Yes, sir.